I'm Susie Compton. I lead half of the Trusted Services products here at Salesforce. So I have Privacy Center, Archive, Data Mask, and Backup. And then with me, I also have Pete Thurston, who is the other half, focusing on the security side. So again, I'm going to cover some of this initial stuff really fast so we can get into the meat of it. But one thing that we've heard from customers is just around with the AI landscape and everything going on, how can you protect your agents and how can your agents help protect? And so that's really the lens that we've taken from a product perspective is there's trusted services for agents, agents for trusted services, and how can we leverage AI to kind of accelerate some of that while also making sure that we're protecting what AI is actually doing. And so at Salesforce, you've probably heard of this shared responsibility model where there's things that we have control over that we protect on your behalf. And then there's also things that you can do that you're kind of responsible for on your side. And so if we dive into that a little bit more, what that kind of looks like is the foundations, and that's what we call foundationals. And so that's what we can do, right? We have the ability, we protect the infrastructure for all customers. We do things like making sure that there's secure deployment. We make sure that security and privacy is baked in to our coding practices. We make sure that we've got monitoring. We have threat detection on our side. We have incident response. We have BCP. We do things extra for our government customers where we have GovCloud. That's all the things that we can do. Then we have the configurables, and that's where we kind of pass it off to you as customers, where you know your business best, and there are certain things that only you can do that you need to configure based off of how you run your business, how you control your data, because we don't have access to view your data, and we don't want that. And so there's things that we'll do for all customers like multi-factor authentication, which we've been pushing really heavily, and we actually had a really good conversation with the threat detection team around this is really to help kind of protect your side as the attacks increase. There's also things that we can provide out of the box like the health check tool, single sign-on, and things like that. And anything that we can do for all customers kind of goes into that configurables bucket. But then we also have customers that are in highly regulated industries or a couple other areas that just need more. And that's the enhanceables, and that's kind of where Trusted Services and Pete and I sit, is we're developing the products where there's some customers, for example, if you look in our financial services, they need more control over their encryption keys. They need more control over their automation for privacy because they've got 50,000 right to be forgotten requests. And that's really where we're going to cover. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Pete.
All right, cool. Thanks, Susie, and impressive time management. I'm very proud of you.
When marketing isn't involved, we cut all the slides.
That was amazing. So I'm going to do a deep dive into the security enhanceables. That's a lot of stuff that you are really familiar with, like Shield. And I'm going to give you some updates on where we're going, what we've just shipped, and get you up to speed. But as a reminder, Shield is our flagship security offering here at Salesforce. It's really 4 different things. It's not just one thing, but we try to make it easy for you to get to everything all at once. Historically, that's not been the easiest thing to do, but now we've made it a lot easier. And so we're really excited to introduce the new Shield experience, the new Shield app that pulls all those 4 components together into one central location. So you can easily get guided setup, make sure you know where you are on your implementation journey, and be able to get to key resources like help and training documents, but also where are all these settings? Let's pull them all into one place. And so the new Shield experience is out now. If you're a Shield customer, just give yourself view all Shield app pages, and you'll be able to go in and check it out and let us know what you think. Okay. Let's go down each one of those pillars now. So event monitoring is all about knowing what's going on in your org from an end user perspective or from an agentic perspective. And I think that's a really important aspect, is to remember that as we enter the agentic era, agents are users too. And so event monitoring is where you can keep an eye on how your humans are interacting with Salesforce, but also how agents are. And so we're really excited that this year we were able to launch event log objects, which is an easier than ever way to get to your event log data. So you're not just interrogating CSV files, but you can work with them on the platform, as well as event monitoring for Agentforce that I already teased, and brand new dashboards that are out of the box, shipped on top of event log objects to get quick insights into your event monitoring data. Get your cameras ready, guys. I should have said that earlier because these are going to go fast. This is the full event monitoring roadmap for this year. Everybody good? Okay, cool. These are the ones I want to talk about real quick. So if your camera's got great resolution, you'll still get the hidden stuff. Enhanced real-time events. So this is really important. Real-time events are super powerful. It's how you know what's going on right now in your org. But there's always been this missing context piece of like, how do I define a cohort of users? We're going to include profile and role information in all real-time events. So it's not just the user anymore, but you can start to group them. API events have always only covered reads through the API. Now we cover updates, and we did deletes in the last release. So we'll have full CRUD coverage for API events coming up in summer 26. And transaction security is getting a lot of love this year. We're really excited. People are taking advantage of transaction security, and we're making it easier than ever to send those trigger notifications to as many people as you want. They don't have to be Salesforce users. They can be just any email address that you want. And we're going to introduce data classification to the condition builder so that you can run dynamic transaction security to say, maybe you can export most data, but not data that's tagged as confidential. Very exciting stuff. Okay, moving on to encryption. So this year we were able to ship platform encryption for Data 360. The same experience you know and love for platform encryption expanded to cover Data 360, as well as the feature everybody's wanted for 10 years, database encryption. Finally went GA this year. Very exciting stuff, but what's next? Get your cameras ready. Okay, platform encryption is got a lot more going on than you might think. We're really, really excited that we can just continue to push forward, but it's really thematically all about encrypting more things at scale and being able to make it easier than ever. And so database encryption, now GA for all customers on Hyperforce. And Platform Encryption Analyzer helps you unlock, when you are applying field level encryption, what can I encrypt and what impacts might I expect before I do that? So that's all moving into the Shield app this year too. Field Audit Trail actually has a roadmap sled, which we're very excited about. We did a lot this year on bringing in some of the capabilities we acquired via Own to make it easier to use Field Audit Trail, to set it up, to configure it, to get value out of it. But we got a lot more coming with Field Audit Trail. A couple of things I want to highlight. This last release, if you're a Shield customer, instead of only being able to track 60 fields per object, we increased that to 200. And we're very excited. All Shield customers have that. We're also introducing in the upcoming release the ability for you to take our Field History Explorer component, which is an enhanced history view, and drop it directly into your page layouts. So you can get that enhanced view of history right on the record. And in Winter 27, we've got Field Audit Trail coming for Data 360, not Data Cloud, for Data 360. So really excited, continuing to expand. Keep the cameras ready, because she is ready to go too. Shield Data Detect. Data Detect exists to help you find sensitive data that you may not even know that you have inside of your org. That's what it does. It scans your org, looks for sensitive data that you don't even know that you have. We just launched the ability to do 100 objects per scan for all time data, and the ability to scan for custom keywords, so not just the predefined patterns, and to schedule your scans is coming in summer 26. So the longest ask we've had is, I don't want to have to come in and click the button. Can you just run this thing for me and tell me I've got issues? And the answer now is yes, in summer 26. So scheduled scans are coming. You'll be able to run them weekly, monthly, or annually, and you'll be able to upload your own dictionary of keywords, up to 1,000 keywords that you can search for across your org. We're also working towards, in Winter 27, being able to do your entire org at once. So right now, we got a 100 object limit. In Winter 27, we're looking for a one-click, do the whole thing. Last security product we're going to talk about really quick, Security Center. You're going to love this roadmap slide in a second, so prepare yourself. Couple of things that are really exciting. We've enhanced the health check score, which is also bubbled up into Security Center. So if you've noticed any changes to your health check score recently, that's an improved version of the calculation, and we'll keep iterating there. We also are working towards a whole lot of things, and you'll see a lot of color here. The Security Center universe is expanding. So we have Security Center, as we've always known it and loved it, with metrics and alerts, but we've also added in a lot of agentic capabilities, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of that. So we have expanded our threat detections to include agent force anomalies in summer 26. So if agents start behaving in unexpected ways, those will surface themselves directly in the agent, directly inside of Security Center. We're also really excited to introduce a whole new capability, that's the green bit, called Security Mesh. Security Mesh is the ability for you to take signals both from inside Salesforce, so event monitoring data, security center data, all that kind of stuff, but correlate it with log data from your other security providers. So taking advantage of our great partnership with companies like Okta and CrowdStrike to be able to take your CrowdStrike data, your Okta data, pull it directly into Salesforce, correlate it with your Salesforce log data, and drive whole new insights about what might be going on before they even get to your Salesforce org to help you understand threats at a deeper level. I made it.
You made it.
I made it.
That
Okay,
was
go.
amazing. Thank you.
Susie's going to talk about the rest of Trusted Service.
The rest of it, yeah. So for those of you that aren't familiar, a lot of the OWN acquisition came to me. And so a lot of the past year and this upcoming year is going to be focused on how can we integrate the products together as soon as possible and as fast as possible so we don't have 2 to 3 versions out on the market. I think, we love to do acquisitions at Salesforce, and so we're trying to actually accelerate that timeline. So with that, data mask and seed is one of the first products. Salesforce had a data masking product. OWN also had a product called Accelerate, which combines anonymized and seeding functionality. And so what we're doing is we've blended that together in kind of this new, what we're internally calling Data Mask 3.0, and that's launching, that just launched actually this past week as a beta version available to all of you, which allows you to kind of mask your data, and it's in a very performant fashion, and it takes a brand new user experience than some of you may be used to. And we're going to continue to kind of develop and move all of the seeding and functionality into this new version. And so we've got right now, the GA version will launch this summer. That's going to be available to all customers. And then we're also going to include Data Cloud DLO seeding to help you kind of seed as you test your agents in Data Cloud and use the DLO, DMO kind of configurations. That'll then be available to you with Data Mask and Seed. Then what we look to with Spring 27 is we're going to pull forward, again, that like accelerate functionality and try to really get to one single product as soon as possible. So for those of you that are kind of Salesforce Data Mask customers, you may have just gotten an email probably a month ago saying, hey, the managed package version is going to be end of support this year. Please transition to this new one. And then what you'll see on the right-hand side is that new version is going to get all of this amazing and new functionality that the teams have been working really hard on. Then if we switch to Privacy Center, there's been a lot going on behind the scenes with Privacy Center. For those that aren't aware, Privacy Center is kind of the, it's our suite of capabilities that allows you to really automate both data management, data governance, and privacy functionality. The intent is that Privacy Center really sits at the center of your Salesforce ecosystem, and it connects out to everything else. And it captures things like consent management. So it really allows, if you're creating a preference form, to capture your end users and their consent for things like AI, for things like your marketing and all of those different purposes. Privacy Center can help build that and have it feed into your Salesforce ecosystem. It can also do things like delete millions of records at scale from production. So if you're looking to really clean up your data before it's being used by your agents or before it's being used in your reports or dashboards or anything like that, especially if you've been a customer for 15, 20 years, you have a lot of that. Privacy Center can help you create really, really easy filtering and policies so that you can get as granular as you want for deleting that information. And then you can also do things like right to be forgotten, right to portability, and continue, and we're about to launch risk assessments as well. So Privacy Center is a really fantastic tool if you're looking to kind of automate some of that. And so I've talked a little bit about it, but some of the things that we really want to call out is we've got a new global consent store. We're working with some customers that have 1.5 billion records around consent. We're integrating that. It's going to feed into Data 360. It's also, we've got Right to be Forgotten that now works with Data 360, so continuing that integration kind of across the Salesforce ecosystem. We're doing a lot with Marketing Cloud. Internally, our teams are using Privacy Center, both for like the deletion, the marketing aspect of it, the preference management, and then we're looking to expand that into multi-org. We also have a privacy agent that's about to launch this next month, which is really meant to kind of bridge that gap between your privacy folks that are saying, hey, you need to be compliant with GDPR, and your admins who are probably like, I don't know what that means. And so you've got this agent that can kind of help create some of these policies based off of the data and the regulations that then feeds out. Then if we look to back up and recover, I think it's I think everyone kind of knows what a backup and recover tool is, but really allowing you, this was one of the big kind of bread and butters of the own acquisition. And so what we're focusing on is blending the 3 versions that we've got together into this kind of next best-in-class solution of backup. And so we're calling it Backup and Recover Next, kind of the next generation of it. That just launched for Japan and GovCloud in this past week. We're going to open it up to India, and then in August we'll open it up to AMER. And we'll continue to kind of expand on this version. We're also kind of adding in some other functionality for our other versions, for example, just moving everything into Salesforce. So if you are an existing kind of own recover customer, that's not going away anytime soon. We're making sure that it's easier to kind of use that and find it. But if you look on the far right-hand side for Winter 27, you can see that the new Backup and Recover Next is really going to have pretty much parity with the existing Salesforce, plus more as we kind of continue to move it in. I will say there's probably a 500, this is not an exaggerated number, there's a 500% performance improvement to backup data with Backup and Recover Next Gen, and we'll continue to see those performance enhancements both on the restore side as well. So probably by the end of this year, if you're an existing customer, we definitely recommend taking a look at it, giving it a test run, and maybe switching over to the new version. And then lastly, I have Archive, which has been a really big conversation in the data management space, where customers that have a lot of storage, or as you're making way with using your agents and everything else, how do you kind of clean up so that what you have in production is really what needs to be in production, and then you've kind of moved everything out that you don't need. And so Archive is another product that kind of came from Own, that actually we essentially were able to lift and shift it onto the Salesforce platform. And so that is just completing over this past release and this next release, where it's available now for India and Japan in the next week. And then it'll be globally available on the Salesforce platform for all customers. And again, that's not to say you can't, it is available to purchase now, but we're moving it on to the Hyperforce platform for that scale to take advantage of a lot of the Salesforce infrastructure. Then as we look ahead in winter, it's integrating with some of the Shield side. So integrating with platform encryption to make sure that your one key that you already have that you're using for other things, you can either use that same key for Archive if you'd like, or you can spin up a new key, but it integrates really, really seamlessly across the products. We also expect to have FedRAMP High, so for our Gov customers, are currently that were on FedRAMP Moderate with the Own version, we will now have FedRAMP High with this new version, feeding into just better and more advanced search. And then we're hoping to pull this forward, but the integration with Slack. So we have a really, really cool demo that basically allows you to do everything in the context of Slack for Archive. So asking what's in your archive, can you unarchive? What are the trends of what people are archiving without ever having to leave your Slack interface? So hopefully we can pull that in for winter, but we did put that on for spring just in case. And then we'll continue to kind of incorporate Agentforce capabilities. So with that, I think I actually managed to get this done we made it in 19 minutes.
We nailed it. That was amazing.
We nailed it.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, so if you have any questions, Pete and I are here. There's a couple other webinars that the team is hosting. We've got one for Data Mask and Seed. We have one for the risk assessments that I didn't cover in depth for Privacy Center, but that's coming up. We also have boosts in the Trust Zone, so come find us there. And with that, thank you.